Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody is able to hear my voice and see the presentation on the screen. Excellent. गौतम भाई साहब, आपको पूरे हफ्ते का शेड्यूल मिला है. एक बार नज़र घुमाइए उस पर. Right, I've sent the schedule for the entire week. I think it's pretty obvious whether there's a class tomorrow or not. Chalo. So today we are just going to do a practice session of vocabulary, and we have seen sessions where I took synonyms, antonyms, where I took idioms and phrases, where I took foreign words, contextual usage, and so on and so forth. In today's session, what I'm going to do is we are going to try to understand how do we solve questions where we are instructed to find out the meaning of a word as it is used in a sentence, right? Last week when we were doing questions of reading comprehension, we were in practically most of the reading comprehension passages, we had one or two questions of vocabulary where they expected us to know the meaning of the word as it was used in the passage, right? So contextual usage is a very important part of vocabulary, where even if standalone, if you are just given the word, you may or may not know, but the way it is used in the passage, it should be easy to guess, right? The way a certain word has been used in the passage, it should be easy to guess. So a lot of students right now are asking me whether tomorrow is a holiday. To all these people, you guys are having trouble in data interpretation because the timetable which I sent is tabular data, right? It's tabular data, and date wise everything is given. So in the row which pertains to tomorrow's date, what is the information given? In the row pertaining to tomorrow's date, what is the information given? Yeah. So I think it's pretty obvious. It is one of the 3 national holidays of India, right? And very rarely I get to पीछा छुड़ाओ फाय from you monsters, right? दिन भर बैठ के patriotic movies like Border, Uri, केसरी, लक्ष्य, ये सारे मूवीज सारे चैनल्स पे आएंगे एंड दिन भर यही हम लोग तोड़ के देखते हैं. Generally the Republic Day parade is also what I get to enjoy. Tomorrow it's going to be a muted affair, right? So I'm going to enjoy my Republic Day in front of the television. I don't know about you guys. I hope you guys are studying a lot. But yeah, I'm not going to take any class. It's a national holiday and I'm a citizen of India. I fully plan to enjoy my right. Okay, so coming back. Gautam, did you call us monsters? Yeah, I know. I should not be stating obvious facts. I love calling students as monsters. Yeah. Okay, so in each of the sentences given below, a word is printed in bold. Below it, 4 choices are given. Pick up the one which is most nearly the same in meaning as the word printed in bold and can replace it without altering the meaning of the sentence. Right? Straightforward. Nothing. It's just we have to pick up the meaning of the given words. So let's do it. Easy one. It is very difficult to retain all that you hear in the class and an appropriate sentence to begin our session with. Right? Many people always complain, especially when it is something like GK or vocabulary, that sir, it is very difficult to retain. So what do you mean by it is very difficult to retain all that you hear in the class? To retain something means what? Okay, so I want to retain all the money which has been given to me by my relatives, right? I can also use this in the way that I want to retain all the money that has been given to me by my relatives. Or I can say it is very important to retain important information in your mind for a long period of time. So to retain something literally means to keep something in your mind. retain this information. It literally means keep this information in your mind, right? It's not preserve or see, preserve and conserve more or less mean the same thing, right? To store for a long period of time. So if preserve is right, there's nothing which says that conserve cannot be selected as the answer, right? So if preserve is the answer, then why not conserve? That could be the argument. So preserve and conserve may not be, and it's about safety. When you talk about to preserve something, it's the national heritage should be preserved. It is very important, it is to be preserved. But retain this piece of stone. It might not be important, you're just supposed to keep it. So in that sense, using the word keep for retain is the best, right? And again, it's not recall. Recall is bringing back from your memory to the front. Recall is to remember, right? It's not about remembering things. In the context, it does not mean remembering or revoking that information. It's about keeping it in your mind. Whatever you're hearing, it's very difficult to keep it. So retain definitely is keep. It cannot be recall. Did you get that? When you hear something in the class, the first step is just keeping it in your mind. Recall is done at a later date. When you're right now, when you're hearing something in the class, you're not recalling it. You're just keeping it in your mind. It's in the future that you will recall the kept information. So recall cannot be my answer. It has to be keep. Okay. The great artist's life was full of vicissitudes. The great artist's life was full of vicissitudes. Now, I don't know the exact meaning of the word in the exam. Let's assume that I'm not able to get what is the exact meaning because I don't know. Let's do a little bit of logical analysis. Sorrows and misfortunes are more or less the same, right? Sorrows and misfortunes are more or less the same. So going with either one of them makes no sense, because if one is okay, the other is also possible. So A and B I can tentatively eliminate. Now I'll look at changes and surprises, right? Now I don't have any contextual clue to tell me which one should be the right answer. So here vocabulary knowledge is absolutely important. Vicissitudes actually mean changes, and there is no contextual clue, because the life could be full of changes, it could be full of surprises. Either one of them actually fits. So unfortunately here, unless you do know the meaning of the word, you can eliminate two options, but then you will have to guess between the remaining two. Yes, Gautam. ऐसे वर्ड्स कौन बनाता है? There's a group of people called lexicographers. There's a group of people called lexicographers. They are professionals and their job is to create such words. And then of course writers of olden times. Shakespeare has coined many words, right? Writers have actually coined many words. But professionally, the people who analyze words are lexicographers. Okay. She has an insatiable love for music. She has an insatiable love for music. So the word satiate is usually associated with hunger, right? If you're very hungry, you want to satisfy it, so you want to satiate your hunger. I want to satiate my hunger for knowledge. Satiate literally means to satisfy. So insatiable, in obviously makes it negative. So unsatisfiable is the word that we are looking for, right? She has such a great love for music that it can never be satisfied. She always wants more and more. For example, if a person has insatiable love for books, that person is never satisfied with a certain number of books. They always want to keep reading more and more. Or if a person has a love for watching web series, they are never satisfied with a few of them. They want to have more and more. So an insatiable love for music is an unsatisfiable love for music. Yeah, Kriti says misfortune and sorrow. Yeah, there is a sliver of difference between them, but we have to look at in the broader sense, right? If you go for the exact difference, then obviously no two words are exactly the same. We can always find differences between them. But in this case, just for the sake of elimination, we step back and we take a look at the broader sense of the word. Gautam says, can you please give an example as to what act is called strenuous? Strenuous is something which involves a lot of physical strength. Lifting a 100 kilo weight is a strenuous activity. Running a marathon is a strenuous activity. Irreconcilable. Irreconcilable is जिसके साथ सुलह नहीं किया जा सकता. To reconcile with something is किसी चीज़ के साथ understanding कर लेना, किसी चीज़ के साथ compromise कर लेना. तो जिस चीज़ के साथ you cannot come to terms, right? You can never ever have an agreement with something that is irreconcilable. For example, if a husband and wife are fighting to such an extent that divorce hona hi hai, they can never ever think of living together, then they have irreconcilable differences, differences which can never be hut out, right? Divorce hoke hi rahega. So irreconcilable means something which cannot be worked out. Farmers are irreconcilable towards the new farm laws. Aditya, prima facie it seems yes. Yes, prima facie it looks at this, farmers are never going to agree to the new farm laws. So they are irreconcilable. That's a good example. Okay, next one. The great dancer impressed the appreciative crowd by his nimble moves. In fact, I don't know whether you guys have heard that poem. There's a nursery rhyme. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Jack jump over the candlestick. Right? So when somebody is nimble, they are actually very quick and can easily twist their body, sort of. So the best option from the given options is actually quickening, not lively. To be nimble about something is to be quick, to be adaptable, to be flexible. The best word that I would have appreciated if given as an option was the word flexible. But because the word flexible is not there, lively does not necessarily mean you're quick in your movements. Nimble literally means being quick in your movements. So the word which, it's not a great word, but from the given options, that's the only one which is closest. So quickening. Is a squirrel nimble? Yes, most small creatures, most small rodents are very nimble. They move so fast that you cannot even track them with your eyes. So something which is very quick, something which is moving around with great speed, that is nimble in its movements. Vanshika says agile. Yes, that's a very good word to describe the word nimble. Okay. This word has become popular in the last couple of years. The Visitor had a bohemian look. Because of the Freddie Mercury movie Bohemian Rhapsody, this word has become famous. But what does it actually mean? What is the meaning of the word bohemian? So, hostile and unfriendly are more or less the same, right? And sinister is something which is evil. Bohemian Rhapsody, if you look at the movie based on the life of Freddie Mercury, it's how they were very unconventional, how they did not follow the regular rules of the society of their times, but how they were very different. हट के उन्होंने बहुत किया. So bohemian look actually means something which does not follow the traditional rules of the society, something which is unconventional. So bohemian literally means unconventional. Hostile means something which is which is your enemy. For example, the Pakistani government is hostile towards India, right? They have a dushman attitude towards us. So Pakistan government is hostile towards India. Unfriendly का एक level ऊपर. Did you get that? Okay. Now that's very interesting. The word sinister, which actually means evil. Do you know there's a very strange history behind this word? The word sinister comes from the word sinistra. Sinistra literally means left. So पुराने ज़माने में लोग ये मानते थे कि जो लेफ्ट हैंडेड हैं they are evil people, right? People who are left handed, they are evil. So the word for left became sinister, and sinister literally means evil. Hitler had sinister intentions towards the Jews. So sinister literally means evil, but sadly it comes from the word left. People used to think left-handed people are evil, and from that became the word sinister. Yes? Yeah, in olden times, people left-handed would be considered some sort of evil person, so on and so forth. Yeah, why? Because Dhanvi, anything which was abnormal, people had a difficult time in understanding, right? If you see a majority of people writing with the right hand, and suddenly you see somebody writing with the left hand, today we are open-minded, but in the past, people used to think कि ये क्या ये अजीब है, तो इसको भगवान ने right hand नहीं दिया है, इसको devil ने conquer कर लिया है. Some stupid beliefs people used to have, and because of that, a lot of bad things have happened in the past. Adroit, skillful. Yeah, right-handed is adroit. What is the meaning of Bohemian Rhapsody? So Bohemian is unconventional, and Rhapsody literally means a poetic piece. To rhapsodize about something is to praise something, right? A rhapsody is a kind of a song which is praiseful. So Bohemian Rhapsody is actually sort of a praiseful song, but which is unconventional. And if not the entire movie, at least listen to the song Bohemian Rhapsody. It's considered to be one of the best songs because it contains a great range. So people, even today, if they want to test a new piece of music equipment, they want to test how good the sound is, they'll play this song because it contains all different kinds of sound levels in it. So to test a new earphone, to test a new speaker, Bohemian Rhapsody is the best song you can play because it will give you the range of all musical notes. Okay. The bullet wound proved to be fatal and the soldier died immediately. Yeah, this is pretty straightforward, right? Fatal literally means something which leads to death, right? Grievous is something which is very serious. Dangerous is something which is harmful. But fatal does not stop at being just harmful or serious. It actually refers to a condition where death does happen. So deadly has to be the best possible meaning for this word. Does eccentric mean unconventional? No. Let me first explain what the word eccentric means. Eccentric is related to the word center, right? So a thing where the center is exactly where it is supposed to be, that is called concentric. So in a circle, if the center is not where it is supposed to be, if it is away from the normal place, that means eccentric. So the word eccentric is actually meant to indicate people who do not follow regular things, who are not normal. It is somewhat like unconventional, but it is more like a person who is mad, right? Eccentric is not exactly just unconventional. It goes to showing something a bit more than that, right? Whose center is not where it is supposed to be, जिसका center हिला हुआ है, that is eccentric. Okay. The attitude of Western countries towards the third world countries is rather callous, to say the least. What does callous mean? Now, this is actually related to biology, right? धूप में अगर आप बार बार नंगे पांव चलते हो, then your feet develop calluses, which means they develop a thick layer. Your skin becomes so thick, after a certain point of time, you stop feeling anything. पाँव में जब calluses develop हो जाते हैं, that means you get a thick layer on your skin, because of which you stop having any sensation. So now, can you tell me what does the word callus mean? Right? When you develop a callus, it means you don't have any feelings. So callus literally means unfeeling. Passive means which does not react. Unkind means something which is cruel. Cursed, Shapit. Unfeeling, right? He doesn't care. कोई लेना देना ही नहीं है. तू जी, तू मर, मेरे को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, right? That kind of attitude is an unfeeling attitude. That kind of attitude is called a callous attitude. It comes from the term calluses, which develop on your feet because of too much of abuse to the feet, and ultimately it leads to a lot of loss of sensation and stuff. Callous. No, it's not unkind. Unkind is sort of cruel. Unkind is sort of bad. Unfeeling is क्या है करना, हमको कोई फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता है टाइप. They are neither for nor against. Unkind is actually negative. Unfeeling is rather neutral. A sadist cannot be called callous. No. A sadist, he actually takes pleasure in your pain. A callous person is someone who does not care. A sadist actually likes your pain. A callous person does not care whether you are in pain or not. Why not a passive? Because passive means a person who does not react. Unfeeling is a person may react, but he does not take it to heart. Unfeeling person is a person who may do something, but he does not care what he is doing. A passive person is someone who simply does not respond. So there's a difference between being passive and being unfeeling. Passive could mean even physically not doing anything. Unfeeling is only related to emotions. Sort of, heartless, yeah. So passive is not a great word. Apathy, yeah, sort of. Apathy can be synonymous to unfeeling. Yeah. Passive does not mean introvert. Passive means a person who does not do anything. Introvert is a person who is incapable of reacting with other people, or who is shy of reacting with other people. Passive is a person who does not react. He may want to, he is capable of doing it, but he simply does not want to. For example, a passive chemical, जो पड़ा रहता है, जो कुछ करता ही नहीं है, right? There may be a person, घर वाले बोलते रहेंगे काम कर, कुछ नहीं करता है. So he is passive. Indifferent, yes, indifferent is quite possible. Being cold-blooded, can it be callous? In a way, yes. There is subtle differences the way it is used, but in a way, yes. Okay. In spite of their efforts, the team of scientists could not make much headway to solve the problem. In spite of their efforts, the team of scientists could not make much headway to solve the problem. Yeah, a lot of people, almost everybody is getting it right, except for one or two, almost everybody is getting it right. Right? Obviously, when you cannot make headway, it simply means you cannot make progress. Right? They could not make much thinking. In spite of their efforts, they could not make much efforts. So C cannot be my answer. Right? Efforts करने के बावजूद मैं effort नहीं कर पाया, ऐसे थोड़ी हो सकता है. तो C तो definitely cannot be my answer. And they could not make much start. Much start क्या होता है? Either you have started or not started. मैं ज़्यादा start नहीं कर पाया, कम start नहीं कर पाया, ऐसा तो हो नहीं सकता है. So it is progress which can be more or less. So obviously headway means progress. Okay. On scrutiny means closely examining. On scrutiny, the police officer found out that the documents provided by the landlord were totally fabricated. So in manufacturing, in engineering, whenever we say something is fabricated, we mean that it is created. We say these machine parts were prefabricated. उसका मतलब है they were created beforehand. So whenever we say this is a fabrication plant, we use the word fabrication to indicate creation of something. So when you say that the documents were fabricated, it means that they were created, but in an illegal way. So the word fabricated, when it comes to documents, is meant for forged, right? Forging karna, nakal karna. So when the word fabricated is used in context of creation of documents, it means illegally creating them or forging them. Yes. Forging is creation of any document causing it to resemble the original so that a person is fooled. So that's the meaning of the word fabrication. Okay. Lack of occupation is not necessarily revealed by manifest idleness. Lack of occupation is not necessarily revealed by manifest idleness. No, Gautam. Okay. So, if used as a verb form, to manifest means uh, the, the physical characteristics of the father were manifested in the child, means they were made visible. But when used as an adjective or a noun, manifest literally means something which can be seen, something which can be felt, something which can be perceived. So, manifest idleness is idleness which is clearly seen or which is clearly visible. So, manifest something is something which is openly there, openly visible. So, here easily perceived is the answer. Infected क्यों नहीं? Infected is related to something negative. Like the virus infected the computer, or he was infected by the bacteria, right? Infection has a negative sense to it. Here, lack of occupation is not necessarily revealed by manifest idleness. See, manifest idleness, idleness खुल्लम खुल्ला दिखाई दे रहा है, उसके बावजूद it does not mean that there is a lack of occupation. So the word revealed is associated with manifest, so it has to do something with being able to see it, and that's why it is perceived. Easily acquired means easily, which you can get very easily. It is very easy to acquire money if you have good education. It is very easy to acquire the help of your friends if you are friendly to them. Acquired means be able to get it. Perceived simply means be able to see it. There's a huge difference between A and B, Shashwat. And the meaning of the word manifesto. Manifesto is a document which actually shows what you propose to do. Usually in politics, you will hear that the BJP manifesto means a written document in which they say what is our plan of action, what course of action we are going to do in the future. That is a manifesto. A manifesto is a formal document which shows your plan of action. So during elections, you will hear the word very commonly: the BJP manifesto, the Congress manifesto, and so on. Okay. The accident occurred due to his lapse. Because of the unuse, the account of the student lapsed. Right? Two different ways in which can be used. But what is a lapse? An accident may not occur because of a trick, because of an interval, or because of ignorance. But an accident definitely can occur because of an error. So the best possible option for lapse in this case is error. उसकी भूल की वजह से accident हुआ. So the best possible option is obviously error in this case. If you're getting it. Yeah, an accident can occur due to ignorance, but lapse never means ignorance. Lapse means error. Vocabulary wise, lapse definitely means error. Bhul chuk, a lapse in judgment. Yes. It does not mean to stop. It means to let go. When something is passing by and you're not taking care, there was a lapse of time. That time passed and nothing was done. So that's a lapse of time. Right? I just said lapse of time. the passing of time when you don't take care of it. Relapse is, like the word itself suggests, something which happens again. He was sick, he recovered, then he went into a relapse, which means it happened again. He was getting cured of cancer, but unfortunately it relapsed, means it happened again. Oh, lapse and lapse are very different. LAPSE is what the word we're talking about here. Lapse is actually the physical thing. It's a course. Swimming pool के अंदर you run laps. Race course के अंदर दौड़ते हो. There the laps means the running the circular track on which you're running. They're called laps. You run laps or you swim laps. Okay, so time lapse feature. There, time lapse feature क्या है? You are shooting a 10-minute video, but it actually compresses the entire thing into, let's say, 10 seconds. So it allows the time to pass where all the time is not given importance. You condense it, right? So that's a time lapse, right? 10 मिनट का वीडियो है बट छोटा किया है. पढ़ने का nothing, just vocabulary. The underlined word, what is the meaning from the given options? That's it. Chalo. Oh, this is something I don't know whether you guys have enjoyed in childhood. I've enjoyed this a lot in childhood. Sunlight and shadow make the landscape a kaleidoscope of colors. Contextually, you have to identify the meaning. Guys, contextually, you have to identify the meaning. Right. The word kaleidoscope by itself, yes, it means a tube which contains mirrors and loose pieces of colored glass. But here it is not used in that sense. In this particular thing, it is actually used to describe something. So here it actually says a frequently changing pattern of bright colors. Here the word kaleidoscope is not used to indicate that physical toy. Here it means kaleidoscope of color means something which keeps on changing colors and shows a lot of different bright scenes. So contextual usage is very important. Although you may be tempted to mark A as the answer, but keeping in mind that the context matters, it definitely has to be B. I hope everybody got this one. Okay, after the dismal performance of the team in the series concluded yesterday, the captain offered his resignation to the president of the club. So when the captain is resigning, that means something bad. So what sort of performance can happen in a sport? We won't call it short or minimum, makes no sense. And dukh humko hota hai, but the performance by itself is not sorrowful. We feel sorrowful at the performance. The performance by itself can only be poor, right? So dismal performance literally means poor performance. That's it. No confusions there. Question 12. Question 12 में क्या देखना है? Okay. Now, next one. We didn't believe in his statement, but subsequent events proved that he was right. Yes. This I think is pretty straightforward. Couple of you are getting it wrong, bhai. So, subsequent. The core word here is sequence. Sequence means order. So subsequent is something which happens afterwards, right? So later, uske baad. Antecedent and consequent, these are also important words. Antecedent means something which happened before. Consequent means something which happened afterwards. Similarly, subsequent also means something which happened afterwards. It does not mean few. The word subsequent, it comes from sequence. Sequence as an order. So, it's related to time. It's related to order of time. It's related to chronology. So, subsequent events means events which happened afterwards or even events which happened later. So, definitely A, contextually and otherwise, is the only option which can be selected. A is the only option which can be selected. Sequential, right? It comes from the word sequence, sequential. So how can it be anything else? How can it be many, fewer, earlier? I hope everybody got this now. Next one. The pioneers left a blazing trail of courage, manliness, and chivalry. The pioneers left a blazing trail. Blazing means something which is burning. The pioneers left a blazing trail of courage, manliness, and chivalry. So, pioneers, to pioneer something literally means to start something. Like Elon Musk is a pioneer in the field of electric cars, or Elon Musk was a pioneer in the field of digital payment, or Bill Gates was a pioneer in the world of computers. Person who starts, right? But in this context, when you use the word pioneers, it is not inventors or explorers or colonialists. It literally means settlers. The word colonialist has negative connotations, especially because of the British Empire, where they would go in under the pretext of trade, but then they would take over the entire thing and colonize the locals. So a colonialist is actually very specifically related to the British Empire, and it has negative connotations, right? So settlers is actually a better way to show pioneers. Yes, Gautam. Inventors. See, if it was, now look at what is being described. What did they leave? Courage, manliness, chivalry. Do you associate these things with inventors? Right? Pioneers could be either in science, or pioneers could be people who are going across the world and settling in different places. Like you talk about people who came from England to America and settled the new world, right? So when we're talking about things of courage, manliness, and chivalry, we definitely are not talking about inventions, because these are not characteristics which you associate with inventors. But these are characteristics which you associate with people who settle in a new place. And hence D has to be a better option. Explorers are simply people who look at things and keep moving. They don't necessarily settle and start something. So explorers, not a great one. Again, like I said, colonialist. Colonialist is specifically for the Britishers and used in a negative sense. यहाँ पे we are talking about positive qualities of courage, manliness, and chivalry. So a colonialist is generally associated with negative adjectives, not with positive ones. Gautam, a charismatic person. It literally comes from the word charisma, or someone who has something which attracts other people. So charismatic person is a person who has certain undescribable quality which attracts other persons to him. ठीक है? Everybody. Can I move ahead? Which one, Aditya? Pronounce what? Karishma. Huh. Charisma. The Indian version is charisma. The English way is charisma. Charismatic. Shubhankar, the word paria is actually Indian. Paria kutta. Paria kutta means जो सड़क का कुत्ता है. But now it has been used in English to describe something or someone who is outcast. Right? But paria is actually an Indian word. English में charisma. Charismatic. Okay. Next one. He has a propensity for getting into debt. Propensity. What does it mean? Yes. It's an inclination or a natural tendency. Right? चाहते ना चाहते हुए भी उसका एक नेचुरल टेंडेंसी है कि वो कर्ज में डूब जाएगा. Aptitude is something which is a skill to do something. Characteristic is simply a feature of the person. Characteristic and quality literally mean the same thing. Tendency is the propensity, inclination to do something. Quality and characteristic are the same thing. So अगर quality को mark करूँगा तो characteristic को भी mark करना पड़ेगा, right? And propensity, it actually contains the word natural in it. Now, it's not just any sort of tendency. It's a natural tendency. You can't control it. That's why propensity is a natural tendency. ठीक है? चलो, moving on. That Young is quite sanguine about the result of his competitive exam. मैं तो इसको odd man out की तरह ही select करूँगा, right? Odd man out की तरह ही select करूँगा. Out of the 4 words, depressed, pessimistic and anxious, all of them are negative. And एक option दिया है जो positive है, हो ना हो, that is my answer. To be sanguine about something is to not worry too much about something, right? When you're sanguine about something, it means you're not too much worried about something. So although it is not exactly optimistic, but it is somewhat on that line. It is definitely not a negative thing, and hence sanguine from the given options should be optimistic. A sort of positive attitude. Sanguine is more like you are calm, relaxed. You're not very happy, but you are relaxed about it. You don't worry too much about it. To not worry too much about something is to be sanguine. So it's not exactly happiness. It's more the tendency to not be sad. You should not be sanguine for your entrance exams. You should be excited about it. Sanguine is एकदम ढीला ढाला sort of attitude. No, sanguine and buoyant. Sanguine is thoda chilled. Buoyant is something which literally floats. Right, upbeat. Okay. He's averse to the idea of holding elections now. I think this is simple and straightforward. The word averse, you must have come across it so many times that by now you should definitely know. To be averse to something is to be opposed to something. When you don't want something to happen, you are averse to it. So averse literally means opposed. I think almost everybody got this one. Okay. The corpulent body of the dead man made it difficult to carry it to the graveyard. Now, corpulent comes from the word corpus or corpse, which literally means body. Right? It literally means body. Now, lean means very thin. Gaunt means very thin. Emaciated means due to lack of food or nourishment being very thin. So lean, gaunt, emaciated, all three of them more or less mean the same thing. It means very thin. Emaciated is an extreme version of thin, where भूखे प्यासे होके literally हड्डियां भी दिखने लगी हैं. That is called being emaciated. And obese means someone who is very चर्बी वाला, very fat, right? Having a lot of body. So corpulent literally means being obese. Yeah. Corpus is body. Opulent means rich. So rich लोगों की body कैसे होती है? ताजी माजी गोल मटोल. So corpulent literally means obese. Rich and fat. Yeah, that's what Shubhankar explained. Very good. Shubhankar explains that corpse plus opulent. It literally means rich and fat or obese. That's very right. That's exactly how you analyze. Very good, Shubhankar. Okay, guys. Silence is mandatory for meditation to be effective. Oh, this word has come into our vocabulary the past 1 year that now everybody knows what it means. Mandatory literally means compulsory. You don't have a choice. You have to do it. Right? Mandatory literally means compulsory, where you don't have a choice. Whether you like it or not, you're supposed to do it. No options there. We should always try to maintain and promote communal amity. Comes from the French root aimer. To be amiable, to be amicable. Amity is also the name of an institute in India. So the word amity, ami, it literally means friend. So amity literally means friendship. Amity, to be amicable is to be friendly. To be amiable also means to be friendly. It comes from the French word for friend. So amity literally means friendship. What is a mandate? A mandate is a rule. For example, the government had a clear mandate to rule, means they clearly had the support, right? Mandate, the BJP government has a clear mandate from the voters. So when they have the majority of votes, you can say they had a clear mandate from the voters that they were the most supported party in the country. The Democrats in US had a clear mandate in the 2021 elections. Mandate does not mean majority. Mandate means power, sort of. Not exactly, it's not exactly power, but he has a clear mandate, right? He has a clear permission, sort of. Permission is not a great word to describe it, but it is close. Authority, yeah, that is closer to the meaning. Yes, mandate could be sort of authority. The sense that it gives is the same. Okay. The soldier displayed exceptional courage and saved Major from the enemy's hand. What is meant by exceptional courage? And tomorrow we'll be seeing a lot of examples of exceptional courage. January 26, Republic Day parade. The brave hearts of the army and civilians, they are given various awards for different exceptional activities, acts of courage, right? So if it's going to happen tomorrow, it's always worth watching it, listening to the different acts that they performed, and sometimes when they describe it, it literally gives you goosebumps. You can't even imagine the kind of courage some people have displayed. And it's not just the army men. Sometimes very young children also have demonstrated exceptional acts of courage. So exceptional is something which is unusual, not common at all. Oh Gautam, excellent. Shashwat, can it be asked in GK? Quite possible. If there is something which is extraordinary, right? If there is something which is extraordinary, why not? So, exceptional courage is unusual courage. It's not avoidable. Exceptional means which is an exception. Regular से जो हटके है, जो common या ordinary नहीं है, जो extraordinary है, right? Extraordinary is a good word to describe it. So something which is not usual, which is totally unusual. Abnormal, yes, it's something which is not normal. जबकि exceptional is something which is more than usual. Abnormal simply means something which is not regular. So it's not necessarily in the positive sense. Exceptional literally means in the positive sense. So abnormal generally has a negative connotation and hence not used. Okay. Mudslinging is the word. It's not highlighted, but mudslinging is the word. Public figures should not indulge in mudslinging. Literally in Hindi, it's कीचड़ उछालना. Literally in Hindi, it's कीचड़ उछालना. Right? कीचड़ उछालने का मतलब क्या होता है? एक दूसरे के कैरेक्टर पे सवाल उठाना. To question the character of a person. To say something negative about a person in public. So it's not about mocking or quarreling or caricaturing. Legally, it's slander. It's actually illegal, right? It's sort of defamation. Mudslinging is actually a sort of defamation. So the best possible option is slander. Caricatures are literally those cartoons of real people, right? An actual person का थोड़ा cartoonish image जो बनाते हैं, that's a caricature. For example, Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, they are not real, so they are cartoons. But a real person, for example, Bappi Lahiri, right? उनका किसी ने कार्टून बनाया, but उसको देख के आप जानते हो ये कौन है, So we don't call that a cartoon, we call that a caricature. Yeah, so Mr. Bean के जो cartoon series आते हैं, they are the drawing, it clearly shows who he is. So that's a caricature of that person. A meme is not a caricature. A meme is actually the actual photo itself. A caricature is, it's an exaggerated drawing. In fact, you can just Google for caricature and search under the images section. Very clearly you will see a list of famous celebrities जिनका drawing है. That's a caricature. No, Simpson is not a caricature because Simpson is not a real person. Right, Simpson is not a real person. In fact, guys, I just want you to do this after class. Go to a search engine, just type the word caricature and look the results which come under images. You will clearly understand what is a caricature. A caricature is a cartoon of a real person. Namra, that is not actually Mohit sir. That is actually me. That's not Mohit sir. That's in fact the caricature का example literally screen पे है. Even I was blind to it. That is my caricature, guys. What you are seeing on the screen, that is my caricature. Not big face with small body, but a cartoonish representation of a real life person. ठीक है, चलो. The notice said that the meeting would begin precisely at 9:30 a.m. Precisely is the word highlighted. So precisely at 9:30 a.m. when it comes to time, we always use the word exactly. Approximately तो precisely का मतलब है ही नहीं. Accurately means something which is correct. Concisely means without having too much of addition. But exactly जो mention किया है तभी होगा. That is the meaning of the word exactly and precisely. So precisely has to be synonymous to exactly, not accurately. Accurately means correctly. Here precisely means to the time, to the exact time. So exactly, not accurately. Is everybody getting this? Yes, Aditya. If precisely is used in context with a science experiment, then yes. For example, precise measurement of the chemicals is required to make the correct compound. So there we won't say exactly is not bad, but accurate measurement is required. That would be better. Yeah. But when it used in context of time, then it becomes exactly. That's a good explanation, Aditya. ठीक है, everybody. चलो. That the plan is both inhuman and preposterous needs no further proof. So the word preposterous has a very specific meaning. Heartless means it does not care about others. Impractical means something which cannot be done in real life. And abnormal is something which is not usual. But absurd means illogical, and that is what preposterous means. Preposterous literally means यार ऐसा कैसा ऊट पटांग है, इसमें कोई सेंस ही नहीं है, right? So preposterous literally means absurd, something which does not make any sense. Impractical only means something which cannot be done, something which is in such a condition, described in such a manner that it makes no sense to do it. But absurd means totally out. For example, the plan could say that to reduce the population of India, we should kill all males. That's a preposterous plan. That's a totally absurd plan. It's obviously heartless, but it's not impractical. It is possible to do it. But preposterous means it makes no sense. How is killing half the number of people going to do anything to solve the population problem? So it's absurd. So preposterous literally means absurd. Yeah, inhuman could be heartless. If inhuman was the word, that they were looking for, then I would be comfortable with heartless. But because preposterous is the word they want a synonym of, so absurd is the better choice. Ansh, don't worry about that. Chalo. The prisoner has been languishing in the jail for the last many years. The prisoner jail में सड़ रहा है पिछले कई सालों से. Languishing in prison, jail में सड़ना. Literally it means that. So, कई सालों से you are not convicted or attempting or avoiding. But when you are in jail and for many years, you are literally suffering there. So, languishing is suffering. Whether it is derived from anguish, I don't know. Although meaning wise they have the same sense. But whether languish comes from anguish, I seriously doubt that. Anguish means suffering, sorrow. To languish also means to suffer. But whether languish comes from anguish, I am not sure about that. Okay. As the driver was inebriated, he could not control the car. Very clear what it means. Inebriated has to do with alcohol, right? So when you are drunk, it means you are inebriated, which means intoxicated. Inexperienced means you don't have enough experience. Befuddled means confused. But the word inebriated literally has to do with alcohol, and hence it only means intoxicated. I would not go taking any names, Ansh. Public forum में लोचे हो सकते हैं. Okay. When the police questioned him, he gave very incoherent answers at first. Manchika, how do you know it is related to alcohol? Because it is always used in that context. If you keep reading, you will always hear the word inebriated when it comes to being drunk. So constant reading. There's no word root or something which I can think of. But it's just that it is always associated. For example, the word languish, which we just saw, it is always associated with prison. Right? We very rarely get to see the word languish in any other context. It is usually used in the context of prisons. It's like that. Okay. Coherent is something which makes sense. Right? Coherent is something which makes sense. Incoherent is something which does not. So from the given options, inconsistent. Whatever he is saying, it does not match whatever he said before. So inconsistent. Irrational is illogical. Irrelevant is not related to the topic. Irritating is something which annoys you. But incoherent is actually to do with sense. So although not the best synonym, but from the given options, the one which is closest is actually inconsistent. It did not match what he said before. You may be tempted to mark irrational, but no, incoherent answers, when especially related to police, it means your answers are not matching what you are saying. Alag point pe you are answering the same question and your answer seems different at each point of time. So that is incoherent or inconsistent. Okay. Next one. Even today, many people are guided by abstruse moral values. Abstruse moral values. So abstruse or obtuse literally means something which is old-fashioned, something which is out of time, something which is not of the current times, right? Something which is now gone. It's in the past. So the closest word in meaning is obscure. Something which is not mainstream, something which is of the past, something now which is not very clear, something which has lost its meaning. people don't clearly understand what it is. That is abstruse. Yes, Aditya, sort of opposite of contemporary. So dangerous, impracticable, irrational. Well, they are not all synonyms, but they are all negative. So Kayan, picking obscure in a way, ठीक है. Dangerous, impracticable, irrational. They are not necessarily synonymous, but they do have a negative vibe to them. So in that sense, obscure, okay, you may use that, but it's a bit dangerous to use it in that method of odd man out in this particular example. Chalo. Now this is one of those rare words which even I did not know initially. Instead of putting up a united front against the common enemy, the medieval states frittered away their energy in internecine warfare. Internecine warfare. No, ambiguity is not the same as obscure. Obscure is something whose meaning is lost in the past. Ambiguity means something whose meaning is confusing. Ambiguous thing can be a relatively new thing. Obscurity is generally to do with old and past things. So here, even if I don't know what it means, the word inter means between or mutual. So just based on that, internecine, I would say it is mutually destructive. Right? यहाँ पे word roots का knowledge थोड़ा बहुत कम आएगा. The word inter means between or mutual, amongst. So from that you can guess that internecine warfare means mutually destructive warfare. Now, pernicious is something जो डिस्टर्ब करता रहेगा, जो छोड़ेगा ही नहीं. Pernicious, irritating sort of. Now there's a very interesting fact. You know what is the scenario of a third world war where all the parties have nuclear weapons, known as, especially in the United States, they have a complete scenario where what will happen if all the fighters in the world war have nuclear weapons. You know what is the name of that plan? Yes, Pranav. It's called MAD. MAD. It's called mutually assured destruction. Baneful is something which is bad for you. Right? Bane, the Batman character also, his name means bad. So baneful. Detrimental, obviously something which is going to reduce your thing, something which is bad for you. Pernicious is not exactly bête noire. I don't think pernicious is similar to bête noire. Okay. And by the way, bête noire has a single T in bet. Okay. Few teachers have been spared the problem of an obstreperous pupil in the class. Who's an obstreperous pupil? So, if a person is sullen, चुपचाप रहता है, गुस्से, not गुस्से में, but bad mood में रहता है, that is not necessarily bad for a teacher. Similarly, if a student is lazy or awkward, it's not necessarily bad for the teacher. But when the student is unruly means not following the rules, indisciplined, mastikhor, that becomes a problem situation. So obstreperous, the best synonym you can mark from the given options has to be unruly. The other three are not actually problems for teachers. But indisciplined, students definitely are. So obstreperous literally means unruly, someone who does not follow rules. That is the worst kind of student that many teachers have. We don't mind a lot of other types of students. As long as you're willing to follow the rules, practically every other kind of student we can somehow manage. Okay. The story is too fantastic to be credible. और आजकल तो एक ऐप क्रेड बहुत ही फेमस हो रहा है. Even the word incredible is very common. Credibility, that word is also very commonly used. So cred literally means believability. So when we say something is credible, it literally means that it is believable. So what does this line mean? It says this story is so fantastic that it cannot be true. It cannot be believed. The story is too fantastic to be credible. Literally means this story is so fantastic that it is difficult to believe it. So credible literally means believable. They feel that we should be fully aware of our own environment. The way it is used in the sentence, you can simply replace the word by the options and identify the right one. It's not nationality or heredity or nature. What should be aware of? हम जहाँ पे भी हैं हमारे आसपास क्या है we should know. Right? They feel we should be fully aware of our own surroundings. So option D, no other option. They feel that we should be completely aware of our surroundings. Why should we be aware of our nationality, heredity, or nature? It is our surroundings that we should be aware of. So D. No one will invite her to a tea party, for she's so garrulous. The word garrulous, what does it mean? So when we say somebody is garrulous, we simply mean that the person talks a lot. The word garrulous literally means a person who talks a lot. Yeah, it's not necessary what is the matter. It could be trivial, it could be serious. But garrulous simply means when a person keeps talking non-stop. बंद ही नहीं करेंगे, मुंह उनका बंद ही नहीं होता है. सो जो एकदम बातूनी है, राइट, इन हिंदी वी कॉल इट बातूनी होना. सो अ पर्सन हु ऑलवेज टॉक्स अ लॉट इज अ garrulous person. The aberration in the Indian economy can be attributed to short-sightedness of its political masters. Short-sightedness is a person who did not think long term. It's a negative thing. So when you're blaming it on short-sightedness, that means aberration is something which is negative, right? And aberration is used in science, it's used in commerce as well. Something which is not regular, right? The word glitch is also sometimes used to describe the word aberration. Procrastination means to keep delaying, postponing things. Privilege is the right which you enjoy. And steadfastness is sticking to something and not going away from it, being loyal to something. But aberration, because it's negative, it means deviation. जो होना चाहिए था उसे हटके कुछ गलत हुआ. So there was a minor aberration. For example, you have always scored 90% in all exams. But in one particular exam, let's say you scored only 60. So that 60 marks is an aberration in your mark set. So aberration, it's a deviation, usually in the negative sense. Okay. Traffic being what it is lamentable that our roads are unable to take the load. Okay. To lament about something means to cry about something. रोना रोना, राइट? अरे यार ये क्या हो रहा है, सरकार कुछ करती नहीं है, रास्ते सारे खुदे पड़े हैं. When you keep complaining about something, right, that is lamentable, something which is worth complaining about. Unpardonable is something जिसको माफ नहीं किया जा सकता. And inexcusable is somewhat similar to that, right? Something which cannot be explained of why it is. And terrible obviously means bad. But to deplore is actually to complain about something, just like lament. Just like to lament means to complain about something, to deplore also means to complain about something. So lamentable literally means deplorable. Yes. No, Shashwat. Deplore does not mean to decay. No, it does not mean to decay. To deplore something is to complain about something. Another example for what? Kayan, another example for what? Lamentable. The state of education in our country is lamentable. To deplore actually means to complain about something. It does not mean to scold, right? The deplorable condition of the poor people in our country is pathetic. Deplorable means something which can be complained about. I hope you got it. Okay. A rupture in the relationship of two brothers is quite apparent. A rupture in the relationship of two brothers is quite apparent. There was a rupture in the roof of the house. There was a rupture on the bridge, right? A damage could be of any sense, right? Damage is very general, but when something has a break in it, when something has a fissure or a crack in it, that is a rupture. So a damage is a very broad word to describe rupture. The more accurate word is actually a break. There was a rupture in his heart. So we don't say there was damage, we say there was a break in his heart. So that's rupture. Rupture is close to break. Damage is a very broad word to describe this. His visit to foreign countries brought about a sea change in his outlook and his attitude to people. What is a sea change? Yeah. A sea is a very big thing, right? So when we say something is like a sea, we mean something is very big. And here the only option which supports that is complete change. So when there is a sea change, it means there is a complete change, a huge change. It's not unfavorable, Parnika. It's not unfavorable. In fact, because of the visit to foreign countries, if he's now more polite towards people, why would I say it is unfavorable? It could have changed for the better. A sea change simply means a big change. It could be good, it could be bad, it doesn't matter. Right? A sea change does not necessarily have a negative or a positive connotation. It simply means there's a huge change. That's it. Amendment. Amendment is actually a minor change. Sea change is very big. Amendment actually means a minor change. And it is usually used in sense of documents like laws or constitutions. Only those who are gullible take every advertisement seriously. Gullible वो होता है who can be fooled easily. Yes, Aditya gave very precise definition. Fallible means somebody who can fail. Fallible is something which can fail. Enthusiastic means somebody who is very eager. And unrealistic, as the word itself suggests. But gullible is who is never on the lookout. He's not careful. He's not warned. Right? He doesn't suspect anything. और आप उसको बेवकूफ बनाते हो. So from the given options, the best possible one has to be unsuspecting. जिसको आराम से आप उस पर कुछ प्रैंक करोगे वो सस्पेक्ट ही नहीं करेगा and he gets fooled. So he is gullible, lallu sort of. Gullible and naive, they are not very different actually. Gullible and naive, they are not very different. Gullible is a person who is very easily fooled. Naive is a person who believes everything. More or less, they are used to describe the same kind of person. ठीक है? Okay. Whatever opinion he gives is sane. Shubhankar asking what's the difference between naive and naivete. No, grammatically different forms. He's a naive person. He's full of naivete. That's it. The same word, just different grammatical forms. So, sane we know. Sane का opposite insane. Insane means पागल. तो sane यानी जिसकी दिमागी हालत ठीक है. Obscure, we have seen this word before. Something which is not common. Wild, jungly. Arrogant, something which is full of himself, right? Who thinks too highly of himself and has a bad attitude towards others. But sane simply means rational. Sane simply means rational. Okay, Gatam. ठीक है. Why not fallible? See, fallible is a person who fails, right? He may be a smart, he may not be a lallu, but fallible means somebody who's not perfect, somebody who can fail. For example, I can say I'm a fallible person, right? I'm a human being. All humans are fallible. No human being is perfect. So every human being can fail, but we cannot say that that makes us gullible, right? Fallible simply means something which can fail, something which is not perfect. Gullible means जो इतना भोला है कि उसको आराम से दू बनाया जा सकता है. You get that, Amanbir? There's a difference between fallible and gullible. Fallible is simply a person who's not perfect. Gullible is a person who's a lallu. Chalo. The recent acts of vandalism in the country cannot be ignored. And this is something which we have seen a lot in the past few months. So, vandalism is not disturbance. Disturbance is very little. Ravage, again, no, ravage is to spoil something. And provocation is just uksana. But vandalism literally means destruction of property. Right? Vandalism literally means destruction of property. So, violence is the term that we are looking for. That's right, Shrikar. Vandalism, in fact, vandalism happens every day. Unfortunately, many times when students are not very satisfied with their schools or they are provoked unnecessarily by outsiders, they resort to vandalism. बेंचों को तोड़ेंगे, स्कूल की प्रॉपर्टी को नुकसान करेंगे. All those are known as acts of vandalism, which is illegal. No, ravage means to spoil something. Right? Ravage means to spoil something. For example, the man tried to ravage the chastity of the woman. Vandalism is actually violence. Physically breaking something is vandalism. It took him a long time to come round after the operation. So operation के बाद क्या होती है? The first thing, you don't talk about walking, moving or eating. The first thing you talk about is recovery. So it took him a long time to recover after the operation. As simple as that. You know what is the time of recovery officially known as? There's a very specific term. The time during which you recover. There's a very specific scientific term for that. And also a name for the person who is going through that. So instead of just recover, you can say the person is coalescing, right? To coalesce means to recover. So a convalescent is a person who is recovering. So the period of recovery is known as the period of convalescence. Okay. I don't like alien fashions. We did come across this term in one of the comprehension passages we did. So this though should be pretty obvious, right? Alien, something which is not yours. So something which is outside, it means foreign. That's it. It does not mean extraneous or unusual or exotic. It literally means foreign. Domestic, apna, bahar ka, foreign. So alien is foreign. Chalo. Catching snakes can be hazardous for people untrained in the art. I'm trying to answer. I missed some question. I'm trying to answer that. Can we term exotic as special? No, exotic is something which is extraordinary, something which is not boring. Ka opposite is sort of exotic. Exotic birds. So they are not boring and local. They are something very special. Yeah, special is not a great word to describe exotic. Exotic is much more than that. But for lack of a good word, maybe exotic. Okay, chalo. Catching snakes can be hazardous. It simply means dangerous because a hazard literally means danger, right? Hazard signs, hazard warning. So hazard literally means danger. So hazardous is dangerous. There's absolutely no confusion there. Tricky, no. See, if you don't know the meaning of the word hazardous और कोई भी मीनिंग चिपका सकते हैं तो हाँ, it can stand for tricky. But according to the dictionary also, you cannot say tricky because hazard lights, right? Hazard lights means warning or dangerous, something which show a hazard is a dangerous. Working in coal mines is a hazardous job. Being an army soldier is a hazardous profession. So because the word hazard has always been synonymous to danger, you cannot put it for tricky. Contextually, it may mean tricky, but it does not. Harmful and dangerous, although they seem the same, they are not. Hazard and danger are almost precise synonyms to each other. Harmful is generally used for objects. Hazardous and dangerous generally for situations or areas. So there is a distinction between harmful and dangerous. I hope guys got that. Chalo. The inspector was a vigilant young man. The term vigilance comes from this. So if you call someone as vigilant, what are you calling him? So जो विजिलेंस डिपार्टमेंट है वो लोगों पे नज़र रखती है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, रात भर लोग जागरण करते हैं. दैट्स कॉल्ड अ नाइट विजिल, राइट? सो विजिल literally means keeping a watch. So vigilant is watchful. Invigilator, yes Aditya. Invigilator, a person who keeps a watch over the students when writing an exam. So to keep a vigil is to keep an eye, to keep a watch. I am not sure minacious is a word, Gautam. If it is, then I'm not aware of it. At least MINA wala version I'm not sure about. I wrote to him as lately as last week. Yes, Devesh. Constant vigilance, what Professor Moody says. Yep. So here, contextually, the way it is used, it completely changes the meaning. Late generally means deri. But here, I wrote to him as lately as last week indicates actually as recently as last week. Although late means something which is delayed. But when used in this context, when you say I wrote to him as lately as last week, you're actually saying I wrote to him as recently as last week. So context here completely changes the meaning. Many species of animals have become extinct during the last 100 years. We use the word extinct for dodos, dinosaurs, the woolly mammoth, the saber-toothed tiger. What has happened to all these animals? They're all extinct. That means they do not exist. So something which is non-existent is something which is extinct. If it no longer exists, yes, Gautam. So endangered, yes, Aditya. Endangered are species which are about to become extinct. Very good. Yes, endangered defines those species which are on the verge of extinction. Feeble is something which is very weak. Kayan. Feeble means something which is very weak. Okay, Gautam. Very good. Interesting. Okay, chalo. The tablet alleviated the pain and the patient was soon feeling much better. So what is alleviated? So lightened is actually something which we use very commonly to indicate something which has reduced, but it is not proper in English. Removed is not exactly what this word means, and moderated means controlled. Mitigated is partially solved. So alleviated the pain means it did not totally remove it, but it gave some amount of relief. So the best option is actually mitigated. No problem, Shrikar, do that. Gautam wants to go to 46. Lately, here means recently. ठीक है? Okay. So alleviated means mitigated, partially solved. The international community may begin to doubt the credentials of the largest democracy in the world. Credentials also comes from cred, which is the root for words like incredible, credibility, credulous. mixed answers. So it's not principles or the capacity to return loan. Utna to clear hai. Credibility actually comes from cred, which literally means trust, right? It's not dependability, it's actually trustworthiness. He's a credible person, means you can believe him, you can trust him. And guys, we saw this root word in one of the examples before, where we clearly understood that cred or credibility has to do with trust. So even in this case, credentials is your trustworthiness. Credible source, believable source. Yes. Credentials are added to CV and stuff. Yes, so that people can trust whatever you have written. So your credentials are things which people can use to trust you. So whenever I use the word doctor in front of my name, that's also called my credential. What does it mean? It's something which I use to let people know that they can trust me for something. So they are also known as my credentials, symbols of trust for me. They were totally unaware of the impending disaster. So impending. No, pending का मतलब क्या है? जो बाकी है, right? Pending का मतलब जो बाकी है. This work is pending. अभी भी करना बाकी है. So impending जो होने वाला है, imminent. Threatening means जो डराता है. Terrible means bad. Possible हो सकता है. But pending, guys, you already seen the word pending many times. Pending means something which is about to happen. So impending literally means the same thing. Something which is imminent. Something which is about to happen. You get that? It comes from the word pending. The general policies will relieve the suffering of the common man. Yes, Vanchika. Impending death, impending disaster. So the general policies will relieve the suffering of the common man. Here, unfortunately, two words very close to each other. Both of them could be used, only one of them supported. And that is actually alleviate. When it talks about suffering, you alleviate somebody's suffering. I know alleviate and mitigate are almost synonymous to each other, but the word which goes with suffering is always alleviate. It's just the way English is. So, alleviate is the word which can replace relieve. Abate is शांत करना. जो एकदम कोई तूफान उछल रहा हो और उसको आप शांत करते हो, that is to abate it. Right? Relieve is a smaller sense. To abate means कोई बहुत बड़ी चीज को शांत करते हो, that is abating. So that is not necessarily the word we are looking for here. Chalo. The underworld still makes solid profit out of illicit liquor. Yes, it means to reduce. Yashvi, correct. Illicit. Don't involve yourself in illicit activities. Indigenous literally means local. Illegitimate is जिसका कोई official owner नहीं है. Illegal simply means something which is against the law. When we say this, he is an illegitimate son, it means officially he does not have a father. Right? But illegal. So illicit does not mean illegitimate. It outright means illegal. So when you talk about underworld, obviously you're talking about illegal things. So illicit literally means illegal, something which is not permitted by the law. Illegitimate means something which is not supported by the public. Okay. The religion does not require one to proselytize through guile or force. Guile means kapat. Shashwat is asking, is there any word like above world? Not exactly. We just call it the world, the normal society. What does to proselytize mean? So proselytization literally means dharm parivartan, that is to convert. Lot of religions, it is compulsory for their followers to convert as many outsiders to their own religion. That means they believe in proselytization, right? So this religion, true religion, does not require one to proselytize, at least through guile or force. छल कपट करके किसी को कन्वर्ट मत करो. If you are genuinely able to convince somebody that it is worth changing to the religion, तो ठीक है. But why do you need to use wrong methods or force to convince people that your religion is good? So if the religion is true, it will never ask its followers to use guile or force. It may ask to change, convert others, but it will not ask them to convert through guile or force. Shrikar, like means... नहीं, solemnize simply means to make something official. The priest solemnized the marriage between A and B. Means he just made it official. To solemnize is not wrong. To solemnize simply means to make something official. Proselytize is dharam parivartan karna. To change somebody's religion to your own. Today we have National Voters Day. Maybe, I'm not very sure. Love jihad is not exact. It is trying to convert, but it is something which is cooked up by the fringe groups who think that it is happening, right? But some religions actively, for example, Christianity across the world is very well known for trying to convert people into their religion, right? So that is an example of proselytization. Okay. The small boy was able to give a graphic description of the thief. Jamaatul Mujahideen, do they do so? I'm not very aware of that, Gautam. What does a graphic description mean? So although the word graphic is used to indicate pictures, here when we say he gave a graphic description, it means that his description was so good that it had a lot of details in it. So here it literally means vivid. Graphic description. The author gave such a graphic description of the crime scene that the readers could not have a good night's sleep after reading it. So graphic description literally means a very detailed description which makes you almost live that incident in your mind. Broad, in fact, is the opposite. Broad का मतलब है जिसमें details नहीं है, मोटा मोटा, right? He gave a broad description का मतलब है उसने बहुत सारे details नहीं दिए, उसने ऊपर ऊपर से मोटा मोटा description दिया, जबकि graphic is the opposite of that. So broad, definitely not. Yes, Gautam. Any specific designation given to people who draw? They are called police artists. They are called sketch artists. They are called police sketch artists. Yes, Aditya. Broad means brief, not in detail. So it's the opposite of graphic actually. Chalo. We have seen this word before. I have learnt a great deal working factories, and for a time I have never been a weaver. Here are my testimonials, sir. You have seen the word and you have seen the meaning. Right? Vice versa sense में हमने देखा था. Credentials. Yes. When we saw the word credentials, we saw it meant testimonials. Right? Things which are used to make you believe. So certificates and other things. They are called your credentials. They are called proof that you have done it. So they are also known as testimonials. Testimonials could also mean things written by others to give support to your achievements. Written testimony. But testimonials could also mean your credentials. Testimonials are not witnesses. Testimonials are actually written documents. Witnesses are people. Testimonials are actually oral or written documents. Because witnesses are actually human beings. And testimonials are either written or verbal pieces of evidence. So they cannot be the same thing. I hope you got that, Amanveer. Okay. The claims of students look hollow when they attribute their poor performance to difficulty of examination. Okay. To attribute something is to say that something is the reason. For example, a lot of students have an excuse that because of pandemic and no physical classes, we did not perform well in the entrance. So they attribute their failure to the pandemic. Right? Infer is to make a conclusion or judgment. In here actually doesn't mean anything. And inundate is to flood something excessively. To impute something is to assign something to be the reason, right? So attribute and impute, they more or less mean the same thing. He imputed his failure to the poor upbringing that he got by his family. So give something as the reason for something else to happen. That is to impute. Impute also sometimes means to accuse. The angry villagers have lynched 2 suspected child lifters already. The word lynch mob was a couple of years ago in the news. Just before the lockdown started, Maharashtra ke side mob lynching was a lot in news. In fact, there are few incidents which have happened in the past, very infamous incidents. So what is lynching? So to lynch somebody is not just to beat somebody. It literally means फांसी पे लटका के मार देना. So when you lynch somebody, as part of hate crime, you kill somebody. That is lynching. Lynching is not just beating up somebody. It's beating up somebody so badly, and the reason is usually hate, that the victims die. That is lynching. Used to happen a lot in the US, right? The blacks used to suffer a lot of lynching at the hands of white. Even in India, unfortunately, because of casteism, lynching is not unheard of. It's a hate crime. Unfortunately, it exists in a lot of parts of the world. Some people just cannot compromise where truth is concerned. ये वर्ड तो इंडिया में बड़ा फेमस है. कॉम्प्रो कर ले. टू कॉम्प्रोमाइज, राइट? 3 लोगों की सीट में हम 5 लोगों को बैठते हैं, राइट? व्हाट डू वी से? भाई एडजस्ट कर ले, एडजस्ट. सो टू कॉम्प्रोमाइज लिटरली इज adjust. He listened to my request. It should be to. He listened to my request with indifference. A and B in the previous one. एक second ना. Accommodate and adjust. Accommodate and adjust, more or less, yes, they are the same. Yes. Accommodate is to make space for something. When we talk about just in terms of space, then accommodate is a good word. But compromise is not just about accommodating space. It could be anything, right? So adjust is a better term. If it was specifically related to only space, then accommodate is good. But here it's about truth, not necessarily space. So adjust is a better option to mark. He listened to my request with indifference. Indifference literally means कुछ नहीं पड़ी. हाँ तू बोलते जा यार, मैं बस सुन रहा हूँ. I'm not paying attention to it. So indifference literally means disinterest. Whatever you say, तू बोलते जा बस. मेरे कानों में शब्द तो पढ़ रहे हैं लेकिन मेरा दिमाग कुछ प्रोसेस नहीं कर रहा है. That is indifference, disinterest. The soldier proved his mettle in the battlefield. No, it's not about being strong, but it's about how long you can sustain something. Your mettle is not your strength. It's not also your stamina or your heroism, but how much you can bear and for how long you can bear something. So here it is actually courage and endurance. It's not that you're strong, but that you're simply being courageous and bearing it all the while. So that's mettle. Persistence is keep on doing something. Endurance is keep on suffering something. That's a difference. When you're doing something without giving up, then you're persistent. Endurance is more passive. When you're just accepting something being done to you, then you are enduring it. So it has a subtle difference. Epitome of courage, sort of. Okay. Japan has been very much eulogized in this book. You've seen the word eulogy before. Logos is speech, and the prefix "you" is for good. Right? "You" किसी के भी आगे लगता है. It is generally for something which is good. And logos literally means speech. So good speech is what? Praise. So B. Good speech is praised. That is B. The time I spent in the library was a most rewarding one. Okay. So reward is when you get something of value, right? When you earn something of value, that's a reward. That means you aren't paying, or it's not serviceable, or it's not just precious, but it literally is profitable. फायदा हो रहा है आपका. So when something is rewarding, you're actually earning something out of it. So A, rewarding literally means profitable. Yes, Gautam. In olden times, the ministers wrote, more than ministers, you can see the poets wrote eulogies for kings, or the court jesters wrote eulogies for kings. See, precious means कीमती, right? Precious literally means कीमती. Rewarding means which actually gives you more than what you have. I can say your rewarding means I got some literal benefit out of it. Precious literally just means important. Rewarding means I actually made some benefit out of it, and hence profitable. Jay. हाँ, in general, I can't think of a better word. Profitable may not be the exact word that we want, but I can't think of a better word than that. If you can think of one, absolutely. But from the given ones, this definitely makes a lot of sense. Chalo. The benevolence of the god of rain has seen a very successful monsoon this year too. Bene means good. Bene literally means good, right? A beneficiary, benediction. So benevolence means kindness. Ill will is आपके खिलाफ bad feelings. Morbidity related to death and disease. Vision is sight, nothing to do with this. So benevolence is the kindness. Whatever the verdict of history may be, Chaplin will occupy a unique place in its pages. तो ये तो law aspirants, even non-law aspirants should know. What is a verdict? Right? केस के एंड में जो वर्डिक्ट मिलता है, राइट? सो डिक्ट मीन्स टू स्पीक, डिक्टेशन, डिक्टाफोन, डिक्शनरी. डिक्ट मीन्स स्पीच. सो वर्डिक्ट at the end of a case, when the judge passes a verdict, it's literally judgment. So verdict literally means judgment. हाँ जी, समझ में आया? Even though the singing of ballads is no longer lucrative, the Bhopas of Rajasthan continue to sing them in order to cherish the memory of their royal warriors. Ballads are long songs, right? They're songs which praise people, which praise communities, which praise situations. So ballads are special songs in praise. So, lucrative, lucre, L-U-C-R-E, lucre, literally means money. Lucre literally means money. So lucrative, what could it mean? The word lucre is used to indicate money. So the word lucrative is obviously something which is profitable, right? So guys, I think more or less we are almost at the end, and I don't know about you, but talking has made me tired. So I think we can end the session here. If there are any doubts, any questions, you can hang around and ask. Else, we are done for the day. You may exit this session.